So what I'm gonna share with you guys today, I want to encourage you guys to get out of your funk, get out of your head. Victim mode is just pretty much you just being in your head. You training yourself how to operate in this pessimistic mentality, this pessimistic headspace. And the more you do it, you're gonna train yourself how to be okay living in that space. All right, let's go. What's good? Dream Driver's Legacy. Let's chat. Let's talk. Have you ever set out to do something in your life? Anything. It could be just trying to pass a class, or it could be going for your driver's license. It could be where you're trying to apply for a job. It could be where you're trying to make a football team. Whatever the case may be, basketball. It could be where you try to start up a business. It could be a series of things, a number of things. And if you have just even a little bit of experience in life, you'll find yourself being disappointed often. You'll find yourself, not everybody's going to pass the test. Not everybody's going to make the team. Not everybody is going to become first place at whatever the case they're going after. Not everybody is going to be able to get that business deal handled the first, second, or third time. Not everybody is going to be able to win at every single thing. At some point in your life, you're going to face some type of defeats. You're going to face some type of disappointments. And a lot of the times it could be where you're trying your hardest and you still find yourself feeling like you let yourself down, just feeling like a failure, or feeling like you failed at whatever it is that you was attempting to go after. Now, how we handle it makes all the difference. How we handle that level of adversity, that challenge, makes all of the difference. And how we handle these disappointments when it comes to the challenges that we face that we may not have necessarily won in that moment. We may not have won in that season. We may not have got that job we applied for. We may not have again made the team. Whatever it is that applies to you, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. If you're wondering how is it that someone right beside you, someone around you, someone that you've come across and stumbled in your life may have had similar adversities and challenges, but how did they manage to win? How did they manage to make the team? How did they manage to pull off having a successful YouTube channel when you're trying to do the same exact thing? You're following so many remedies, you're following so many ideas and suggestions that people give, and you're having a hard time with yours. Reality is, it's a crowded market, it's a saturated market, and some people are still succeeding despite that, except you. You're an entrepreneur, you're trying to start that business, trying to come up with the capital, and you're having a hard time pretty much just getting your feet on the ground, getting the ball rolling, pretty much having a hard time achieving your goals, achieving your dreams. So oftentimes, a lot of people sit it down. A lot of the times, often people sit it down because of this one mentality, because of this one mindset. Whenever they hit any type of roadblock, this is the one thing that could be holding you back, that is holding you back from achieving your dreams. And it is called operating in victim mode. What is victim mode? So what is victim mode, you may ask? Victim mode is very far different than actually being a victim of a situation. I mean, let's face it, if you applied yourself to something and you did everything that you felt that you could do, and unfortunately you didn't pass the test, it didn't work out in your favor in that moment, if it didn't work out in your favor in that season, reality is perhaps you can say, I was a victim of this. I tried this trial and error and I came up short, didn't get the job, didn't land the business deal. I put my videos out, and for some reason, no matter how hard I try, I'm not able to get the views that I want. I'm not able to get the traction that I want. I went for my driver's test, didn't get my license. Like, whatever it is that applies to you, it's one thing to say I was a victim of this circumstance, but it's another thing to be in victim mode, to be operating in victim mode. And this is dangerous, my friends. And this right here is the determining factor of the reason why you are not in pursuit mode of your dreams. Let me give an example of what victim mode may look like. So, of course, in that moment, you may grieve, you may feel disappointed, you may feel let down, you may feel like you let yourself down, you may feel dumb, stupid, whatever the case may be. And you're human, so of course that feeling is natural. We all go through it. I mean, everyone tries and applies ourselves with the anticipation and hopes of winning and succeeding and accomplishing at whatever goals that we're seeking to accomplish. Of course, in that moment, you know, you don't want to lose. Like, you want to win. You want to walk away with the paper high in the sky saying I got an A+ on this test, or I passed in some way. Reality is, everybody wants to win. But it's one thing in that moment to recognize it and then turn around and do something about it. Or you can walk away from it and defeat, and allow that defeat to settle in, and allow that to be something that you just keep playing in your head over and over and over. Victim mode is pretty much whenever the subject comes up, if someone, your coworker, asks you, hey, whatever happened to that exam you took, or whatever happened to that job you tried to advance yourself at, whatever happened to that application you applied, like, how did that turn out? And I hate that too when people come and ask you, especially when you didn't get the job or whatever the case may be. But it's going to happen. It happens. Victim mode is pretty much how you respond to it. Over and over and over, the repeated cycle. That's actually you teaching yourself how to pull yourself down and distance yourself away from the goal, the dream you originally had. And of course, the further and further you walk away from the idea of succeeding at whatever it is you sought out, whatever it is that you wanted to do, the more that you drive this victim mode mentality into your head, into reality, you're walking away further and further from your goal. And of course, eventually out of sight, out of mind. Of course, eventually it's not even on your mind no more. Of course, eventually you're still just walking around with your head down, bitter, like a sad puppy, feeling as though you're someone who can't succeed at life or can't succeed at whatever it is that you wanted to do when it comes to your dreams. So you find yourself settling, just operating in victim mode. You know what? I don't think this is for me. I don't think I could do this. This is beyond me. This is just too hard of a subject for me. This is just, that job, whatever the case may be, maybe it's just not meant for me. So every single time you spew these words out, you project these words out into the outer world, and you're also training your conscious as well as your subconscious mind to accept these thoughts as true. You're training your conscious, you're training your subconscious mind, and you're also sending out to the universe that this is true. The more that you do this, the more that you operate in victim mode, you start to grow comfort in being in victim mode. You start to develop comfort sitting in that mess. You start to develop comfort by accepting what it is that you feel you cannot change, when in all actuality, you have the power to change your circumstance. You just have to pull yourself out of victim mode and start back operating in winning mode. When you first started the idea, you was excited. When you originally initiated putting yourself in that position, you was excited, you was let's go. It was let's go mentality. You was in winning mode. When you applied yourself and you applied some pressure, you was in winning mode. You was locked in, you was focused. Now, how much focus did you apply? How much attention did you give to whatever it is that actually didn't work out when it came to your efforts? That's between you and yourself. That's a sit-down conversation, a one-on-one with you and yourself, for you to sit down and figure out why didn't it work. And even if you feel like you gave it your all, in reality, if it did not result in your favor, sometimes it may not be where that situation, that circumstance was meant for you. But at the same time, there's other opportunities. There may be a second chance when it comes to taking that test. There may be another job. There is another job that may have your title and position written on it if you apply yourself. But you have to take yourself out of victim mode. You have to take yourself out of victim mode. Snap out of it. You have to snap out of it. Recognize it. Damn, I ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? I really wanted to do this, that, and the third, but it didn't work out. Snap out of it. Operating in victim mode, only give yourself permission and excuses to allow yourself to say, there's no reason for me to apply myself and try again because that didn't work that time. Let me repeat myself again. When you operate in victim mode, you're training yourself how to prove to yourself that it's okay to not try again. You're training yourself how to prove to yourself that it's okay if I don't apply myself because that's not for me. These are your own thoughts. You're allowing yourself to operate in victim mode, tears rolling, crying. I get it. The first time, I get it. But when you do it over and over and over again and dwell in this mentality, operating in victim mode over and over again, you're just basically burying and shoveling your dreams. You basically, every single time you got a shovel, every time you say something bad about yourself, you just digging a hole. You digging a hole. And every single time you operate in victim mode, you digging and digging and digging, and you pouring all your dreams in that hole. All your dreams in that hole. And over a period of time, you patch it up, you walk away from it, and you train yourself to settle for nothing but less than your actual greatest potential. And trust me, I've been there. The first time I went for my driver's license, I believe I was 15 or 16. And instead of going off of my gut told me to do it a certain way. I went off of what someone told me. I went off of what someone told me. They said, if you do this and do this and do that, even though I didn't feel like the advice that this person was giving me was right, because they went a day before me, and I guess it worked for them, I took their advice. I did not pass my test for the simple fact that instead of going with my own gut, instead of doing it the first time the right way that I felt in my head, the right way that I felt that I should go about it, I took their advice, and it didn't work out. So, of course, I was bummed out about it. I was, of course, upset about it. Like, who wouldn't be? We're all human, living this human experience. But I was like, if I would have did it my way the first time, how I actually went and studied the material, how I went on this course and felt comfortable and felt good about it, had I just listened to myself You know what I'm saying? I would have got it. But not to go too far into that. Also, when it came to my personal training certification, I didn't get it the first time. This particular time, this was me. I just didn't get it. I could have set the book down. And said, you know what, forget it. And I thought about it. It was tempting because, of course, when you're training for anything significant, it requires a lot of work. And so I couldn't figure out where I went wrong. I could have sat with it, and I could have just pretty much, said, forget about it. Looking back on it, I'm like, if I would have maintained that energy, if I would have allowed myself to operate in victim mode, I tried my hardest. I tried my freaking hardest, and it didn't work. If I would have set the book down and not reapply myself and not pull myself out of it and not knock the dust off my shoulders and not try to sit and figure out how to configure and resolve where I went wrong and how I could actually correct it, then I would not have been as educated as I realized where I went wrong. Number two, I would not have received my personal training certification, my dream, what it is that I wanted to do at that time of my life. I would not be walking around with that certification. I would have allowed myself to fall short of experiencing the dream of being a personal trainer, training with clients, working with people. I would have allowed myself to continue to operate in victim mode, never knowing what it was like to experience any of my dreams. So what I'm gonna share with you guys today, I wanna encourage you guys to get out of your funk, get out of your head. Victim mode is just pretty much you just being in your head. You training yourself how to operate in this pessimistic mentality, this pessimistic headspace. And the more you do it, you're going to train yourself how to be okay living in that space. You're going to train yourself because, I get it, it's scary. And it's comfortable not doing that scary thing. But you'll never thrive. You'll never achieve your goals if you continue to operate in that safe space, in that unscary place, in that settled place. Living a settled life, a life that's miserable, a life that you really don't want to live, a life that prevents you from living out your dreams, a life that prevents you from living out your purpose, a life that prevents you from being on your purpose. For some of you guys, it's that critical. A driver's license, maybe not so much, maybe, depending on what your passion is, depending on what your purpose is. All depending on what your purpose is, depending on what your goals and dreams are. But I'm going to encourage you guys to stop operating in victim mode. Pull yourself out of it. You better than that. You tougher than that. You stronger than that. And I know it's easy. It's easy to bait yourself into being in that space because it's comfortable. It's comfortable. You want to give up. You've given up because the mission is tough. The task is tall. But I just want you to be tougher. I want you to know that you are tougher. You just have to tell yourself that, convince yourself that, rewire your brain. Start saying positive things. Start having positive self-talks with yourself. Start building your encouragement within yourself. Nobody's going to give it to you, my friends. I'm going to be real with you. Nobody's going to hand you success. Nobody's going to say, you want this dream, here it goes. Nobody's going to do it. Half the world is not going to care about your pity party. You got to pick yourself up. You got to dig yourself out of this rut you're in. You have to pull yourself out of the mentality of operating in victim mode. You have to in order to win at life. If you're watching this video, I'm going to encourage you to take yourself out of being in victim mode and remember your day one feeling. Remember that day one feeling. Remember that day one commitment that you made to yourself when you first picked the pen and pad up. When you first had that idea that you wanted to succeed when it comes to whatever that goal is. When you first gave birth to that idea. When you started walking in it. Do you remember that exciting feeling? I need you to get that excitement back. I need you to get that feeling back. It was a choice then. It's a choice now. Do not let what held you back hold you back permanently. Like I said, I didn't get my driver's license my first try, but eventually I got my driver's license. I didn't get my personal training certification the first time, but I got it the second time. Some of you guys, all you need is a second attempt. Some of you guys, all you need is a second try. All you need is a second effort. Again, it's not permanent unless you make it permanent. That dream is not dead unless you say it's dead. Unless you're dead or unless you say it's dead. If you're alive, those accomplishments, that dream is still very much possible. And you can actually not only succeed, you can actually thrive beyond that goal within itself. But you got to rewire your brain, my friend. You have to stop thinking pessimistic. You have to stop moving with that pessimistic mindset. Whenever you think negative, block it with the positive thought. Block it with the positive action. Block it by doing something that contributes to your dream. Block it immediately. Rewire your brain. Tap in. Lock in. Treat today just like the first day you felt. The first day you applied pressure. Treat today operating in apply pressure mode, bro. Treat today operating in winning mode. If anything, approach it this time knowing that you have a little bit of experience. You got a little bit of leverage this time. For the simple fact, this time you know there are some things that you are not to do. And just keep configuring it. Keep hardwiring it, bro. Keep trying. Keep applying pressure. Your season will come. You'll win eventually, but you can't give up. Success is not just for one or two people. It's not for everybody around you, an exception of you. It's for you too. You just got to sit with it long enough. You got to get out of your head. You got to stop throwing victim mode excuses out to your friends and the universe and even to yourself. You got to stop that. Once you start applying pressure, once you start operating in winning mode, I promise you your chances to grow, your chance to see that dream coming to fruition will increase a great deal. But it's not going to happen. It'll never happen if you continue to operate in victim mode. I want you guys to win, my friends. Tap in if you appreciated the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys if you watch this video all the way to the end. Like the video, comment, make sure you turn on your post notification bell. That way you guys won't miss a single video that I drop. Lately it's been every single day. As you can see, we've made some adjustments here on the channel. It was once Vlogs by Strength. If you've been following me, your eyes are not deceived. We've changed it to my new vision for this channel, Dream Driver's Legacy, and I need you guys to support. Anybody out there who's new to the channel, please contribute to this love muscle. It's growing every single day. Thanks to my day one subscribers, my in-betweens, and my as of nows. I can't do it without you guys. And we're going to continue to keep having these real talks as well as fun here on the channel. And I need your feedback. Come through in the comments. How do you guys like the new channel name? We're going to continue to keep making improvements, so bear with us. But I promise you it's going to come together, and it's all on purpose as we live in purpose on purpose. As always, do what brings life to you. And it's a great chance that you'll bring life to whatever it is that you do. You already know. The goal is to #grow. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace and blessings. One love, strength.